Guys, I think I broke the game. I think I did. So, if you guys have been watching my videos, I'm going to Madison Square Garden on March 10th. I live in Massachusetts, and to get there, it's about a 4-hour drive-ish, right? Now, for reference, I drive a Ford, I always forget what it is. I've had this car for 2 years. I drive a Ford Fusion, right? My car is really, really good on gas because it's a hybrid. So, you know, it's about 200 miles to get to Madison Square Garden from where I'm at. So I'm like, you know, I just put in 20 this morning, and the last 500 miles, I'm averaging 46 miles a gallon, right? So, you know, I have no problem getting to New York. It'd probably take about, based off the math, is it 4 gallons? It'd take 4 gallons of gas to get there. And I put 20 this morning, and it gave me around 360 miles of range, roughly. So if I were able to fill it up, if I just put 40 in a tank, I can make it down and back without having to stop for gas. So with that being said, my car is really good on gas. But I was thinking to myself, look, maybe I don't want to drive my car, right? My car will be fine, you know. I just got it repaired. It had, I think, it wasn't bulge. It was something wrong with the suspension. I ended up paying $1,600 to get it fixed. It's a good chunk of change, right? No one just has $1,600 lying in the corner of their room, right? So I'm like, maybe I don't want to drive this car down there. Let me see if I can rent it, right? So I checked 3 places, and I'm gonna go over these 3 places and what you can do to take advantage of this, guys. So let me just go over the first one. The first one I checked because I used to do Lyft. Lyft has a program where you can rent a car through them, and depending on how much you drive is how much you pay. So I just chose the highest one because I don't want to be capped on miles. They have options where you can drive a certain amount of miles and you'll pay like 2 something. I forget what it was. So I picked the one that was around 370, something like that. Gives me unlimited miles. I'm not capped at how much I can drive, and I like it like that. The thing is, if I drive an electric vehicle over a gas, I can qualify to get 175 off of that 370 or whatever it is. So it would essentially come out to $200 after I meet the requirements for that electric car bonus. And you guys do your due diligence with Lyft and Uber. They each have their own program. I think Lyft is partnered with Hertz, and Uber is partnered with Turo. Turo, I'll get to in a second. So the Lyft rental program is the first one I checked out. I said, okay, that's decent. $200 a week is okay. It's okay for, you know, I get discounts too on charging. So I want to drive an e-vehicle. The only thing is my dream car, my second dream car, because I already purchased my first dream car. I used to have a Lexus IS 250. That was my first dream car. I got that. My next dream car is a Tesla. I just want a Tesla Model 3. So keep that in mind. Tesla is my car. That'll come up later in the story. So I'm looking, but you can't get Teslas through Lyft. So I'm like, all right, let me check other places. Let me check this this platform called FlexCar. FlexCar is a good option, and I'm gonna go over this quick. It's good if you don't have a vehicle. Well, I have a vehicle that I'm making payments on, so it's not so worth it for me. The way FlexCar works, if you pay a one-time fee, right, a yearly fee, and then a monthly fee of whatever the car that is that you picked. So let's say you pick, I saw a Chevy Malibu, which I used to have as well. This is a 2022 or 2024. I forget what year it was, but it was pretty new. And the paint was nice. So, and the miles were low as well, which that doesn't matter because the maintenance and all that is covered by FlexCar. It would cost me anywhere from $500 to $700. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I pay around $532 for my vehicle for payments. I know it's high. And then for insurance, I pay around $248. So all in all, it comes to almost $300 for me to operate this vehicle every month. That's not including gas. right? So with that being said, let me make sure I didn't miss a turn. This will be fine. So with that being said, it costs around $800 to operate this vehicle. On FlexCar, it would cost me anywhere from $500 to $600. So right there, I'd be saving $300, $200 to $300, depending on how much it is, right? The only thing is, I have a vehicle already, so I'd have to get rid of this vehicle and then just rely on FlexCar 100%. That's a good option if you don't have a car. I have a car, so I'm not willing to pay that. And they say zero down, meaning like no down payment. What FlexCar is it's an alternative for, instead of going to the car dealership to get a car, you can go to FlexCar and then test out different vehicles, and every month you make a payment to have that vehicle. Now, I think you are capped at, I want to say, either anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a month. So if you do side gigs, that's out of the question. Can't do it with FlexCar. Those are the only two options. And then I think they charge you extra if you go over the mileage. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $600, $700 right now for a car that I'm gonna need for a few days. So I kept looking. I remember that back in 2017, I created a Turo account. I never used it. I never rented from Turo. So this is where the story gets interesting, right? Or even more interesting than what it is. I go into Turo, I check. I'm like, wait a minute. I seen people rent out sports cars, like super nice cars on this platform. Let me see if they have a Tesla on here. I go, and they have a Tesla. And I'm gonna put it on the screen right here. This is the Tesla. It's a 2022 Tesla. So I get to drive the car that I want, and I get to take it on this New York trip. Me and my girl are going to Madison Square Garden to go to Monday Night Raw on the 10th. So if you guys watch wrestling, I'm gonna be on Netflix. We're gonna be on Netflix on the 10th, so keep a lookout for us. But I get to drive a Tesla to go down there. I don't have to drive my car now. Guess how much it costs? It costs $50. So because I rented long, I think the minimum was like 3 days, and you get a discount. I get a discount of like $11, which if I didn't get that, cool. But you know, it's part of that. And essentially came out to $260 because I added additional coverage. So you can add extra insurance in case anything were to happen. My deductible is $500 max. If I didn't have it and I just went with the basic, it'd be $3,000 minimum. So I said, look, I'm going to New York. New York's kind of crazy. Let me put this insurance on here. So I put the insurance. It came out to $260, and then I was gonna pay the full price, like whatever, like, you know, it's only $260, and they had the option to put it on 3 different platforms. I forget the other one. I think it's Klarna. I forget the middle one, and then Affirm. So I literally only just put $13 down, and then I'm gonna pay it in increments, which is dope. I'm probably gonna pay it by the end of next month, though. I don't want it to drag on. Whatever. But that's awesome. So guys, I got a car for 4 days, 4-day rental. I don't have to deal with no down payment, no hassle, and I just pick up the car. Probably make another video talking about the process. They do deliver, but this particular guy only delivers up to 10 miles. So he's in Medford, Mass. So it's a little further out. I'm just gonna take the train down there, probably catch an Uber, and then, you know, pick up the car then. So where the gig stuff comes into play, I was doing my research, and I still have some more research to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You cannot do rideshare in these vehicles, right? So rideshare is out of the question. You can't do rides in the vehicle. But I did see a lot of articles, a lot of links talking about that you can do gig work in these vehicles. Now, I'm thinking to myself, look, if I pick out a certain amount of days during the week, so keep in mind, I do gig work full time. I left my job, my choice, put in my 2.5 weeks notice, and I figured I could make more money doing gig work, right? I know I have to set aside money for taxes, extra expenses, stuff like that. You know, I have all that figured out, all that planned out. But with me finding out about Turo, I'm gonna reach out to support later today just to confirm if I'm able to rent a car and if it's allowed, because I already know you can't do rideshare in it. That's perfectly fine. If I can rent a car to do gig work, if I'm able to do that in a rental car, it's a game changer, because I can pick and choose what days I go and I'll be good. So with that being said, if you guys don't have a vehicle or don't want to use your vehicle, try that. Try Turo. Unfortunately, Turo does not have a referral program, which it's whatever. So I did look that up. I looked to see if they had a referral program. They don't. But guys, you can get it for cheaper than what I paid. I'm paying $50 a day, pretty much. $50 a day to rent a car that I want. And they have a litany of cars that you can choose from. So I think that's a game changer. If I confirm today, which I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do, if I confirm today that you're able to do gig work in these vehicles without going over the limit for the rental, it's a game changer. That's worth it for me. If I'm able to not put miles on my own vehicle and do gig work on a rental with no down payment, that's a game changer. So guys, check it out in your state. See what your state allows. If you're able to do Turo and gig work in your state, then go and do it. Like, I'm renting the car for 4 days. That's around $200-ish, right? You might have to pay something extra depending on what your state, you know, requires to do this kind of stuff, right? So with that being said, you can make some good money doing gig work on a rental. So check it out, guys. I'm gonna call them today. I'm gonna get my full answer today. It doesn't say anything in the terms that you can't do gig work. It just says you can't do rideshare, meaning other people in your vehicle. In my opinion, I feel like that's like the most risky, because, you know, if you pick up someone that's like drinking or whatever and they throw up in the car, that's a whole hassle. You got to reach out to the person that owns the car that's renting it out to you, and it's messy, no pun intended. So that's why I think rideshare is not allowed. But gig work, like Amazon Flex, Spark Driver, even Instacart or Shipped, I think those will be allowed. So I'm gonna check that out. Check in your state if that's allowed, because that could be a game changer, like I said. But that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. If you got something out of this video, if I provided value, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share this with anybody who you think would help them out. If they don't have a vehicle, this is huge, right? This is huge. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for staying this far in the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.